Students, we're talking about the different types of errors. हम लोगों ने single bit errors और burst errors को study किया था. Students, चलेंगे slide की जानिब. And before we leave this topic, the different types of errors, I'll introduce you to another concept, which is the length of the noise and the length of the burst that gets impacted. As you can see, this was the example that we went through in our initial discussion of the types of errors. The two different pieces of data that have got multiple number of bits corrupted. The first one, we have got only one bit that is corrupted, and the second one, we have got a burst of 8 bits, and there are 4 bits that are corrupted. Students, in this particular case, you need to understand that the number of bits that get impacted, so number of impacted, affected, number of impacted bits, it actually depends on two things. The first thing is your data rate. What is the data rate of the data that you are transmitting? Students, the second thing is the duration of the noise signal or the duration of the noise source. So we will call it the duration of the noise. Students, गौर कीजिएगा, the higher the data rate, the more bits are going to be impacted. The more the duration of the noise source, the higher number of bits is going to be impacted. तो अगर ये दोनों फैक्टर्स में से कोई भी या दोनों अगर हाई हो तो we will have a higher number of bits that are going to be impacted. Because of that particular reason, students, our burst errors which are out here, they are more common than your single bit errors, and the reason for that is that the duration of the noise signal is normally longer than the duration of the bit. So basically, most of the times, the duration of noise is normally greater than or longer than the duration of a bit. And so what happens is this noise gets to impact more than one bit, and therefore our burst errors, more than 1 bit errors, more than 2 bit errors are more common as compared to just 1 bit being impacted. Students, before we leave this, just to explain this to you further, for example, just take an example that your data rate is, let's say, 1 kilobits per second, and the noise source, it stays for only 1/100th of a second. Your data rate, your duration of noise. Students, in this case, if you do the maths, you'll see that we have 10 bits that will be, the burst is going to impact 10 bits. अब students, इसी केस में अगर हम इस data rate को increase कर दें, let's suppose that we have 1 megabits per second, that's our data rate, and the duration of our noise is still 1/100th of a second. So you will see that this amount of noise with this data rate will actually impact 10,000 bits instead of only 10 bits. Students, this was the concept that I wanted to give you. As you can see, if the data rate is increased or is higher, given that the noise source, the duration of the noise remains constant, we will have more bits that will be impacted as compared to when the data rate was 1 kilobits per second. Similarly, if you increase the duration of noise and you keep the data rate constant, once again, the number of bits that are impacted, that goes up again. So students, this was the concept of the different types of error, and specifically the burst errors and the duration of noise.